This is International Royals TV. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Please thumbs up if you haven't already. Thank you for being here. So today we're going to continue on with Princess Anne's life history. And today's session is session number 8, and we'll be discussing public image and style in terms of Princess Anne's life history. Previously, we were on session number 7, and that was called Patronages. And the source I'm reading from is Wikipedia. So today's session is session number 8. Let's get on with it. Public image and style in terms of Princess Anne's life history. Anne has been called the royal family's trustiest anchor and a beacon of good old-fashioned public service, having carried out over 20,000 engagements since her 18th birthday. Wow, that's amazing. That's what I love about Princess Anne. She's very hardworking, diligent, and loyal to her causes. Let's continue. In her early adulthood, she was cited as a royal renegade. Wow, that's a powerful word, isn't it, for a powerful woman? Let's continue. In her early adulthood, she was cited as a royal renegade for choosing to forgo titles for her children despite being the spare to the heir. Yeah, she was very humble. She never liked titles. She didn't like to be called Princess Anne either, so they call her Princess Royal. And also she didn't want titles for her children because she was humble and she wanted them to grow up as normal people. Normal, or is the word normal people? Well, she just didn't want them to be stuck up basically in their royal titles and have their nose in the air, that sort of thing. She wanted them to be down to earth. Okay, that's a word I could call it, down to earth. Nice one. Let's continue. Yeah, she chose to forgo titles for her children despite being the spare to the heir. And that's another thing. She's a spare to the heir, and she was never jealous of Charles. She was always there to support him, even from childhood all the way into adulthood. That's another thing I love about her, loyalty to her playing her role as well, a spare to the heir. That never got to her. She was always a support for Charles. I love that about her as well. Let's continue. The media often called the young Anne aloof and haughty, giving her the nickname her royal rudeness. Oh my goodness, what? She spurred controversy for telling photographers to naff off at the badminton house trials in 1982. Vanity Fair wrote that Anne has a reputation for having inherited her father's famously sharp tongue and waspish wit. Bit of a wasp now. I know they always said she was straight talking and stuff like that, but let's continue. Of her early public role, she has said, it's not just about, can I get a tick in a box for doing this? No, it's about serving. It took me probably 10 years before I really felt confident enough to contribute to Save the Children's public debates, because you needed to understand how it works on the ground, and that needed a very wide coverage. It's very true what she's saying, 100% true. It's not just a tick box exercise, it's actually about service. Yeah, I love that about her as well. I wish the other royals took a leaf out of her book as well, had her same mentality towards serving, and especially making it not about the cameras and stuff like that. Some of the royals, not all of them. Let's continue. Okay, let's continue. It's not about, yes, it's about serving. Okay, it took me probably 10 years before I felt confident enough to contribute to Save the Children's public debates, because you needed to understand how it works on the ground, and that needed a very wide coverage. So my early trips were very important. Anne has been frequently named the hardest working royal. Definitely. And she carried out 11,088 engagements between 2002 and 2022, more than any other member of the royal family. She actually deserved to be queen, in my opinion, if I had it my way. Let's continue. Anne remains one of the Britain's most popular royals. Telegraph editor Camilla Tominey called her a national treasure. 100%, I agree with that. Writing that she is hailed as one of the great English eccentrics whose work ethic contributes to her regard. See what I've been saying all along about her work ethic? It's not only me, she definitely has that. Let's continue. Tominey wrote that Anne's public role is a contradiction of both protocol, taskmaster, and occasional rule breaker. Reportedly, Anne insists on doing her own makeup and hair and drives herself to engagements, having pleaded guilty to 2 separate speeding fines on account of being late. Anne. She does not shake hands with the public during walkabouts, saying the theory was that you couldn't shake hands with everybody, so don't start. Clever woman. Each culture is different, isn't it? We're shaking hands and then that would save embarrassment. But I've seen her shaking hands recently, so she does. Anyway, let's continue. Members of the public have seen her mending fences at Gatcombe and queuing up for Portaloos at her daughter's house, at her daughter's horse competitions. Her reputation is also coupled with her advocacy for causes out of the mainstream, such as Wet Wheels Foundation's commitment to accessible sailing and the National Lighthouse Museum. On her 60th birthday, on her 60th and 70th birthdays, the BBC and Vanity Fair both asked whether she would retire, and she denied it both times, citing her parents' example as well as her commitment to her royal duties. Anne's public personality has been described as not suffering fools lightly, while maintaining a still impressive level of grace and courtesy. 100% full of grace and courtesy. I agree with that. Let's continue. British Vogue editor Edward Eninful has said that Princess Anne is a true style icon and was all about sustainable fashion before the rest of us really knew what that meant. Her style has been noted for its timelessness. She relies almost solely on British fashion brands with tweed and tailored suits as her hallmarks. She is known for recycling outfits, such as her floral print dress worn both to the wedding of the Prince of Wales in 1981 and the wedding of Lady Rose Windsor in 2008. Anne is a patron of UK Fashion and Textile Association. She has been noted for wearing bold patterns and vibrant pops of colour. Her style choices often reflect her equestrian interests as well as the practicality of her fast-paced schedule. In the 1970s and 1980s, she was often photographed wearing trends such as puff sleeves, cardigans, bright floral patterns, and multicolored stripes. Anne is also one of the few women in the royal family to wear a military uniform. I know she loves her military uniform so much and she's so proud of it. You can just see how proud she is when she's wearing it and then when she's on horses with her uniform, etc. I think the last one I saw her riding a horse and that was at Troop in the Colour 2023. Yes, I think I saw her riding. I recall her riding. Yeah, she's very proud of her uniform. Anyway, let's continue. According to The Guardian, she is rarely seen without a brooch during royal events. Her millenary styles have included jockey caps and hats of multiple colours and bold patterns. She presented the Queen Elizabeth II Award for British Design at London Fashion Week in 2020 and has appeared on 3 British Vogue covers. After first appearing on the 1971 September issue at age 21, she also featured in the May and November 1973 issues commemorating her engagement to Mark Phillips. She was featured in the cover story for the May 2020 issue of Vanity Fair. In 2024, Tatler included her on its list of the most glamorous European royals. Wow. Yeah, I think she deserves that. I'll give it to her. Let's continue. Anne is the first member of the royal family to have been convicted of a criminal offence. What? Excuse me? Come again? In November 2002, she pleaded guilty to one charge of having a dog dangerously out of control. Didn't know that. An offence under the Dangerous Dogs Act 1991 and was fined £500. Source I'm reading from is Wikipedia. So if you'd like to follow up any of what we've been saying here today, you can follow up on Wikipedia. That's the source I'm reading from. Also, we've got more audio of these in the playlist section, and it's called Princess Anne Life History. We also did Queen Elizabeth II Life History, and that is in the playlist section and on the community tab. So that brings us to the end of session number 8, which was called Public Image and Style in terms of Princess Anne or Princess Royal's life history. Next session will be called, it's session number 9, and it will be called Titles, Styles, Honours and Arms. So if you need to catch up, you can go to the playlist section and you'll find the rest of the episodes in there and on the community tab. Also, if you're just